Wait, what? Shh. Keep it down.
Ready or not, you two, here I come.
And with that, I want to say welcome home, movie lovers. It's your boy Rossi J, aka Ross Urso, back at it for your latest 2026 movie review. Momentarily, I am going to be reviewing the highly anticipated sequel from Radio Silence, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. But a couple quick orders of business. If this is your first time stopping by on this channel, I want to say welcome home. Whether you're a movie fanatic like myself or you're simply wanting to know whether you should check out a movie or not, you, my friend, have a friend in me, because my mission is to keep the spark of cinema alive and celebrate it with everyone that's along for the ride. And it all starts when you hit like, comment, and subscribe. Communicate to YouTube that you are enjoying these videos. And on that note too, follow your boy on all of my social medias. That's including my Instagram, X, Letterboxd, and TikTok. Grazie. Now, before I give you my personal opinion on Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, I would love to hear what you thought of the film, and that means drop a comment below. Let's keep the lively discussion going. Now, going into this sequel, it has been 7 years since the breakout hit from Radio Silence, Ready or Not. Just a point of reference, I actually just did a rewatch of that original film in preparation for this new one a couple weeks ago, and it still holds up today as one of the most well-balanced horror comedies to have come out in the last 10 years. It's a film that's so good at putting the heightened stakes in the forefront, but just finding the right times to wiggle in a gag or a joke, but then cutting right back into the tension. And there's also just great use of witty dialogue and fun characters that finds, again, that balance of not making it overly dark, but also not making it too silly for you not to take serious. All of that for me to say, of course, that I wasn't expecting this new film to be on the level of that first installment. So I don't think it's long-winded for me to walk into this movie just wanting to be entertained. Although I did have my guard up that it was going to be that rinse and repeat formulaic follow-up. But also on the flip side to that, if it's been 7 years since that first movie, they weren't just gonna make a sequel for no reason, right? So on that note, what on earth is this movie about? Let me tell you. Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, follows the story of Grace, who is played by Samara Weaving. Moments after she survives the all-out attack on the Lidorma's family, she plays a round 2 of the hide-and-seek game, but this time with her estranged sister Faith, who is played by Catherine Newton, at her side. Grace and Faith must work together and survive and claim the high seat of the council that controls the world. 4 rival families are hunting her and her sister for the throne, and whoever wins rules it all. And that's going to be the cookie cutter premise of Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Cutting right to the chase, walking out of that theater, I told myself I was one happy camper. And I was thinking to myself, what more could I ask for? Now, for whatever reason in this day and age, sequels are just automatically expected to be light years better than the first movie. Feels like stating the obvious, but that's just simply not a fair metric to judge a sequel for. Alternatively, a more sensible mindset is wanting it to build on the groundwork that has already been laid out for us. But this time it's not even far-fetched to ask for just a little pizzazz, if you will. Sprinkled on in and turned up a couple notches. But not a rinse and repeat formulaic follow-up with very little else to show forth. Now, what I'm ultimately getting at here is Ready or Not 2 is a sequel that took care of business. And it's one that doesn't allow an inflated ego to take control of the wheel. In a lot of ways, it is very similar to that first movie. Again, the things that work in that first film get carried over here. I couldn't be the only one that was watching this movie, and I was thinking to myself, geez, these two movies back to back are gonna play as a great double feature. Anyone down? Let me know. I think we can all admit it. We all refer back to Randy's monologue from Scream 2. The body count is always bigger. Cha-ching. The death scenes are much more elaborate and, in this case, creative. Cha-ching. And then I think it was never assumed that the killer's dead. But let me think. I honestly forgot if this rule applies, but like, even if Randy went 2 for 3 from the free throw line, that is a success in my eyes. But maybe the biggest standout from Ready or Not 2 that in a lot of ways departs from a very formulaic sequel is the film's conscious effort to expand the lore and the rules with the hide and seek game and the hierarchies with the families. All the choices that are new and fresh worked for me. In the moment of time, it was around the middle act of the movie. This was when the film was beginning to run out of steam. But the third act comes to the rescue by pivoting. You know what's a double entendre? Ross saying pivot, and also Ross Geller saying
Pivot! Pivot! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
pivot. How did I do? How did I do? You gotta rate me a scale 1 to 10. Comment below, comment below. But back to what I was saying. The third act does make this movie end on a very high note, which ultimately bumped this movie up an entire half star on my score, which you're gonna see in just a few short moments, so stay tuned for that. Hip hip hooray! Let's talk about the new additions to this franchise. Catherine Newton, at face value, she's a good addition to the film. However, while it's not the biggest gripe in the world, I wasn't rolling my eyes at this particular plot line or anything like that, but something that did make me feel at a disconnect with is I couldn't fully bring myself to care about the fractured sister dynamic that the movie was trying to get at. But hey, at least it goes for it, right? And it's not poorly executed per se. But in the case where everything else was consistently interesting otherwise, that was the element of the movie that I was like, I could take it or leave it. And you also gotta talk about the villains, and I don't know if this is gonna ruffle some feathers or not, and granted I've only watched this movie one time, but I have to commend the villains in this movie rival the family of the first movie. More so than Samara Weaving, that still is just at her A game with all the screaming and chaotic energy that she brings to this character. My MVP is Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy the Vampire Slayer herself. You know what I just realized? I was just quoting Randy from Scream 2, but gosh, am I dilly-dallying with this movie review, but Ready or Not 2, Here I Come is very much in line with the first installment. It maintains a similar level of quality. It gave me exactly what I wanted. Some elaborate, memorable kills, a bigger cast that results in a bigger body count, some genuine attempts at expanding the lore and breaking away from just being a copy-paste formulaic sequel that is on the nose with the first movie. At least there's attempts of being different and expanding the lore and the rules behind the hide and seek game. So I am more than happy with what I got because I was entertained. That's rule number 1 and what I wanted the most. It's time for my final verdict of Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Drum rolls, please. When push comes to shove, after everything I just said, I'm going to be giving Ready or Not 2, Here I Come a bam, ba-bam. And that's going to do it for this episode of Rossi Reviews. Before I sign off, let me know where I got it right. Let me know where I got it wrong. Drop a comment and let's keep this lively discussion below. I just want to say thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy days to check this movie review out. 2026 is shaping to be one of the biggest years that we've seen in recent memory in cinema. So there's no better time than to join my awesome community of movie lovers that want to keep the spark of cinema alive, and that is just a click of a button. Subscribe. But as always, keep on enjoying the movies one scene at a time. It's your boy Ross Urso, over, out, and cut.